everybody, this is Gail. Welcome to my channel. We are out traveling, so let's talk about what to expect during the traveling during COVID. Let's talk about what you should know about traveling during the pandemic. And I'm going to talk about the unexpected and the unexpected and how to deal with some of the coronavirus lockdowns that are happening right now. So just to give you some background, I am traveling. I'm in the RV here. And I've been to North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Now, all of that has got social distancing in mind. And, traveling in the RV when you're self contained and you don't have to go anywhere. We ordered our groceries before we left. I will admit, we've been into 2 restaurants so far, but otherwise, we're planning on sitting tight right here in our RV, but still being able to travel and see things. So, with that background, that gives me some basis of background so I can tell you what we have experienced while traveling during the pandemic and give you some tips that might help you during your travels. Okay. But first, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the video and we'll go forward. Now, I already have people in the chat room right now. This was actually supposed to be scheduled to go live at noon, but thank you all for joining me. We've got White 2-Pack, Justin Mela's music and blogs. How are you all doing? I'm doing fine. I'm out here traveling and having a good time. But things are really different right now. It's kind of crazy. One thing that I found out is all of the states so far that I've been to have all had different lockdown guidelines because there's no national standard. And even in Tennessee, there are a variety depending on what county that you go to because all of the state has to follow general guidelines from the state health department. But there are a few counties that are exempt, and even among some of the other counties that are not exempt, there's some leeway that's been given to the county mayors. So you may go to one county that requires these and then turn around just a few miles down the road and come across another county that does not require it. So that's in Tennessee. In North Carolina, it was pretty much standard across the board that you will have your mask. And I like to have an assortment. I just keep these on the hanger. And since I'm in the RV, I can just wear one for a day or a few hours. And I just toss it in the washing machine when I get back to the RV. That way, I'm not wearing one more than once. So something I would strongly recommend doing is bringing more than one mask. Yes, John, I am still driving the PT Cruiser. However, not today because it won't pull the RV. But yes, I definitely am. I still love it. It's still awesome. So yeah, I'm at like 400 and I forgot 25,000 miles or so. But yeah, I am. So, by the way, hi, John Ken. Eats with Fifi is in the house. Hello to you all. Don't forget we got Peter Parker, Spider-Man the Hero is in. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the video. And this was actually supposed to be recorded for later. So, but thank you all for coming in. I didn't realize it was going live, but appreciate you all very much for being here. I'm talking about, travel during the coronavirus and the COVID pandemic. So thank you very much for hanging out. So Tennessee, you might not need these. North Carolina and Virginia, you do need your mask because most places are requiring them. And in South Carolina, you do need them, especially around the beach. Now, I did notice in South Carolina, I took this horrible dolphin tour from Hurricane Fleet, and they were making all of the people wear masks, but staff themselves were not. So you do run into that sometimes. In Kentucky, they're on the strongest lockdown in any state that we've traveled to so far, and these are required. So bring some, whether you have the cloth masks that I like to wear some or the disposable masks, bring them. Another thing is, excuse me, another thing is the disposable masks. I still have some in the car as a backup. That way, if I drop one of the masks, or let's say it falls out of my pocket and I'm not where I can get another cloth one really easy, I've got the disposables in my car. And I will link those down below because I actually did a video on the disposable mask where I set one on fire and I dumped water in it and tried blowing out a candle because I wanted to make sure that the masks were going to adequately protect me. So far, so good. So I did a review on that. So whether it's cloth or disposable, definitely bring a supply of masks if you're going to be traveling. That way you'll have clean ones to wash and change into and so forth. So definitely if you're traveling during the pandemic, expect different states to have different standards. That's on face masks. And when it comes to restaurants, same deal. In Kentucky, there are no open restaurants for dine-in right now. So if you're going to do food at a restaurant, it has to be either takeout or delivery. So you can do the curbside, you can call ahead, as long as you can pick it up and go, or you can have DoorDash. Now, the interesting thing about DoorDash and some of the other delivery places is if you're camping at a campground, you can actually, most of the time, have your food delivered straight to your campsite. So if you're out there and you're enjoying the outdoors and you're having a great time, but you need something, you can call and have it delivered straight to your campsite. Shipped will do that also, and some of the other grocery delivery services. So you don't even have to go and risk being in the store, which is really kind of nice. So that's been very different because over in South Carolina, the restaurants were at partial capacity. Okay, and everybody is social distancing. Okay, so expect that. But over in South Carolina, the restaurants are social distancing, but you're able to dine in, at least right now, as of the time this video is being done. And the same with North Carolina. So Kentucky has no dine-in. It's partial in South Carolina, North Carolina, and it's partial in Virginia. Tennessee is wide open for the most part. If you go there, there is full capacity unless, now some of the restaurants' corporate policies are right now that they will only be open partial, okay? But for the most part, in Tennessee, it is wide open and there's no required barriers between the seats or anything like that. So if you go to Tennessee, just know that it is not required for social distancing as far as when you're in the restaurant, because they can be at full capacity. The state has these guidelines about generally suggesting that you do this, but there's no teeth to it. Make sure, one of the things that I found to be extremely helpful when going into any places is to use hand sanitizing wipes and use them for more than just sanitizing your hands. If I go into a restaurant, as we did in South Carolina, hubby wanted to go to a seafood buffet, and fortunately they had things other than seafood that I was allergic to. But before we did anything, we wiped the table down completely with hand sanitizing wipes, and that included the ketchup bottle and so forth. Also, use it, of course, for your hands. You can wipe your car handles down with it and so forth. Peter Parker will watch this later, and he says, have a Merry Christmas. Oh, I mean Thanksgiving. How about both, Peter? How about both? And thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Really do. Thank you. So if you're traveling, make sure you have hand wipes with you, but just remember that the hand wipes are more for everything than just your hands. Hand sanitizer, super important for the same reason as hand wipes. You can stick it in your pocket if you have to go in somewhere. Let's say you have to go into the pharmacy to get a leave or something, then make sure you sanitize your hands before and after. Following all of the CDC guidelines for frequent hand washing and hand sanitizers and so forth. So definitely you're going to want these. Now, because of the restaurants being partially closed, this means you might wind up eating in your car. So if you're doing that, you're going to want your hand sanitizing wipes and bring a roll of paper towels and a trash bag. And be prepared to throw all of your stuff away in the closest trash can. But you may have to store it a while before you find that trash can, and you can expect it at gas stations. And Walmart parking lots are great to have them near the buggy corral. Some of the grocery stores will have them by the front door, we've noticed, and that's been kind of a standard between the states that we've been in. But because you're going to need to possibly hold on to this for a little while, make sure you have a plastic trash bag that won't leak. So some of your some of your Walmart trash bags and stuff may have little holes in them and stuff. So make sure you bring some kind of trash bags from home that you can put it in. The interesting thing has been that the fast food restaurants don't seem to have trash cans out for the most part, which is totally crazy. And that's why I'm saying you may have to take it with you. Peter Parker says they have COVID vaccine approved by the CDC and it should be ready next month. Get the shot. You got it. As soon as I get a chance to take it, I think I'm going to. It's just going to be a smart thing to do. So, yeah. So, there's the difference in the restaurants between like Tennessee, Kentucky, and South Carolina, also Virginia and North Carolina. You just have to kind of expect the unexpected. Like, for example, you may need to go into Walmart and get whatever. But when you go in, you may have to stand in line to be allowed in the store. Now, that was very unexpected for me, but I saw it happening. We actually weren't going into Walmart at the time, but we were getting gas. And so there was this line of people waiting to get into the Walmart because they were only allowing so many people at a time. So be prepared for that. Take your own water, which I like to travel with water anyway. That way I can stay hydrated, which is important. And you want to bring some snacks with you too, just because, you know, the restaurants may have such a long line at the drive-thru that you just want to totally skip them. Or you may go to several restaurants and find them not open because of COVID lockdowns in the area and limited hours, which is another thing that you should expect. Hours at places are very, very limited. We were at, of all places, a Walmart in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago and found out that they closed at 8 p.m. And I'm like, no. This is supposed to be 24 hours. And they were like, sorry, we closed at 8. So expect that because that was one of the unexpected things that kind of caught me off guard, which worked out fine. We were able to call Food City and get our groceries, Food Lion, and get our groceries pulled and pick them up at their little Food Lion to go spot. So it worked out great. but we just didn't know that they were closing early. Same thing with restaurants in South Carolina. Hey, Stellar, welcome. Slow morning at work. I'm hopping in for a little while. Thank you very much, Stellar. This is about travel during the coronavirus. It was supposed to go live at noon, and I thought I was just recording this. So, oops, but thank you very much. So, let's see, where was I now? Oh, yeah, talking about the unexpected closures. When we were in South Carolina just a few days ago, and I took that horrible dolphin watching tour from Hurricane Fleet, the unexpected surprise that we got was when we went to order a pizza and pick it up, and we found out that some of the pizza places closed at 9 p.m. and we were ordering like right at 9, so we couldn't get a pizza. Finally, we found one place that was open until midnight. One. Now we're in South Carolina. We are at Myrtle Beach. On the beach, a popular tourist destination, even though it's off season, and I'm going to talk about off season in just a second. But even though it was off season, you still have places open and you still have travelers, and it's still a popular destination. So if you're going to be traveling, look at your food choices ahead of time. Determine if you're going to order your groceries, where are you going to order it from? Are you going to use ship? Are you going to use a service and just go pick it up? If you're going to order pizza or eat out at all, what are the hours? Things like that. Stellar is saying that the Waffle House near them closed at 3 p.m. for a while. It was incredibly eerie seeing a closed Waffle House. Absolutely. Absolutely. And at restaurants, there are some places that, you just have unusual hours. Restaurants that are usually open breakfast, lunch, and dinner may only be open like through lunchtime, or they may open from lunch and dinner. So check that. Make a game plan, okay? Do some checking ahead of time, do some calling, make a game plan. Hi, Tanya. Welcome this morning. Appreciate you for coming in. Talking about travel during the coronavirus lockdowns, and this was supposed to go live at noon. So, but thank you all so much for coming in. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And but my strong thing about food and dining out and seeing restaurants and stuff while you're traveling is to just take a few minutes, make some phone calls, come up with a game plan on if you're going to order your groceries. Are you going to have them delivered to your campsite, or are you going to go pick them up somewhere? And same thing with restaurants and so forth. What's open? What are their hours? So look at all that. Take a few minutes, draw up a game plan. It's going to be different depending on where you are, like I just said, as far as travel during South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. That's where we've been so far. Also, social distancing. And for example, off-season travel means fewer people. And there are even fewer people out traveling during this whole COVID situation, pandemic, and so forth. So social distancing, you're going to do in your stores, but you may not have as much problem with it like at a campground, because we found some campgrounds to be close to deserted, which is really nice. And we went walking on the beach. I'm going to put some pictures up on Instagram later today. And like there was nobody at the beach, which was really, really nice, I do have to say. And we got lucky. It was 77 degrees and we're walking on the beach. So again, social distancing may not be a problem depending on where you're going. Now, are we traveling to museums and so forth? No, we're not. At least we haven't so far. And that's just something you're going to have to decide for yourself, kind of what you want to do. We have stuck with mostly state parks and some national parks. So far, no problems, but as far as distancing. But what we have run into is the national parks may be open per se, but none of their facilities are going to be open. So don't expect bathrooms and visitor centers and things like that. Basically, you can drive through, enjoy the scenery, but you better bring your own snacks, water, food with you. Don't expect the gas stations to be open if they're on national park land, because it may not happen. State parks, pretty much South Carolina state parks, we didn't have any problems there. We stayed at the campground. The state parks were open. Tennessee state parks are open. We have just found out that some of Kentucky state parks are not open. Virginia, North Carolina, some of them are a little hit and miss. Again, where you may be able to drive through it, but no facilities at state parks. So plan ahead for those. But even if they're not open, you still may be able to drive through them. For example, we drove on the Blue Ridge Parkway, had a great time, but the visitor centers and facilities were closed. So expect to run into some things like that. So definitely travel right now does require some pre-planning. We're finding that you can still do it with some advanced thought, and we're still out here and we're still having a great time. Now we are contained, we are in the RV, which helps, but I was in a hotel, I guess a little over a month ago. And hotel travel, I was in Tennessee, so again, the restrictions are less in Tennessee than other places. But I gotta say, this Comfort Inn, which was in Farragut, Tennessee, was nailing it on the cleanliness. They were, when you handed over your room key that day, they were wiping them all down to make sure that they were sanitized, spraying with Clorox bleach and so forth. I have never seen a hotel room that was any cleaner than that one. There are some standards you just hope that they keep, okay? And I like Comfort Inn. I very seldom have a problem with them, and they were just really super on top of it. But the buffet for breakfast, what they were doing was they were handing you the items instead of you simply helping yourself. Another Comfort Inn I was in about 2 months ago, the buffet that they had was set up just like that as well. But some hotels are doing this grab and go where you have like a bottle of water, a protein bar, something like that, and they've got them lined up on the table and you just pick up the bag and you go. So if you are staying at a hotel, expect things to be different there. Now, okay, Stellar, again, thank you for coming in. So those are just some observations and experiences. Busy ladies in the house. Hey, busy lady, how are you? Thank you for coming in too. And again, y'all, make sure you give me a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe. But those are some of my observations that I've run into with traveling, the expected and the unexpected. Also, if you do go into a store, whether it's Walmart, Publix, a grocery store or so forth, and you do have to get a few things, of course, you know about the mask wearing and stuff, and the sanitizer and the wipes and things like that. But not all stores are spraying down carts and cleaning them. I was in a grocery store in Virginia, having to grab a few things, couldn't order ahead of time. And their answer for cleaning the carts was to show you where the sanitizing wipes are and let you do it, which I wound up just skipping that because I literally only had a couple of things and just didn't get a buggy at all. So that's something that we're running into. And some store aisles are marked one way. So just kind of watch that with your traffic flow. And yeah, but you can still go out and you can still travel and you can still have a good time with some pre-planning and some basic precautions, mask, sanitizer, and so forth. But take your paper towels also with you for lots of reasons. So Candy, the wee service dog, just came in. Hi, Candy. Busy lady says she keeps bleach wipes in her purse just in case and clean the cart. That's awesome. I do some of that too. Busy lady and I have talked before. We've actually done some sanitizing and carrying wipes with us before it was trendy. And now here we are, everybody's doing it. So hubby used to laugh at me because we'd go into Panera, I'd take my sanitizing wipes and do the whole table. The other thing is, while I'm talking about sanitizing wipes, is some stores have them and some stores don't. So we've gotten into the habit of just whenever thank you, Candy. But we've gotten in the habit of whatever store we're in, if we have to go into a store or if we're ordering groceries, we always try to get some sanitizing wipes in a brand that we recognize. So that is one benefit of traveling, is that I was able to get 2 canisters of sanitizing wipes the other day, and it felt like I just won the Vegas jackpot, So, yeah. So those are just some of the observations and tips that I have about traveling right now. So, yeah, if you're going to travel, just know you can with planning. Watch your store hours, watch your restaurant hours, social distance, things like that. And now we are staying at a Harvest Host site, which means that there are these great lists of stores and wineries and distilleries. And if you're in an RV and you're self-contained, you can stay for free, but they ask you to go spend $20 at the gift shop. It has just opened. We want to hit this at opening because it's less crowded, and we're going to go see if they have some cheeses and things like that, some essential stuff. But yeah, it's a great program. We love it, and it's another good way to social distance. But if you're going to, busy lady saying bring your own pillows and blankets to hotels, put them on top of the hotels. They do not always wash them. That is true. She's very correct on that. I used to work in the hotel industry, and those blankets on top of your bed just don't even. Just don't. Because at least if you are going to sit on them, put a towel or something down. Pull the blankets off immediately, because those comforters, they may only get washed every 2 weeks. So good point, Busy. Very good point. And the other thing is, before I hop off here and go over there, is the earlier that you can shop in the stores. I totally agree, Busy. Totally agree. So gross, definitely. And another thing I should mention is I take Lysol spray the whole bathroom down, toilet seats, doorknobs, remote control, anything that you're going to touch, other people have touched, and a lot of other people touch. So I spray that all down. Stellar can tell you, and hubby could tell you. I've done that for years, and it has driven them crazy, and they no longer are fussing. So we're going to go hit the store. One thing, too, about traveling is if you're going to go to the store, try to hit it when they open, because it is less crowded. It's easier to social distance. You can just get what you need and get out. So, yeah. Those are my, Busy. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. She's also saying that she's always had the disinfectant wipes on and gotten made fun of. Yep. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope these tips and hints and travel right now have been helpful. Thank you all so much for stopping in. Like I said, I thought this was going to schedule, and I didn't realize I was alive right now, but it's been good talking to you, because I always love seeing you all. So thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed, fun day. Go out, be bodacious. Don't let life get in your way. Find ways to work around your health challenges and obstacles in pandemic and still have fun with life. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.